All right, so let's do a little beta review. The beta's ending in about 8 hours. Let me check how many hours I have on this game. I have 33 hours, which I think is plenty for a beta. I mean, there's some people that play more, some people that play less. 33 is like, if it's a fighting game, a lot of the time you can kind of get the vibe of the fighting game in 33 hours, but things can definitely change. This is a game by SNK, and it's called Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. It's a follow-up to Fatal Fury 4 or Garo. Retains a lot of the mechanics and has some new mechanics, and yeah, the beta is out right now. Was out for like 5 days, plenty of time, thankfully, but had a lot of problems, and we'll talk about some of the problems, not beta specific ones necessarily, but just why are people so concerned about this game, and then 2, what's good about this game, and then 3, should you buy it, right? I think that's what we'll use. First off, what's concerning about this game? Well, the beta was really bad, like really bad. Like almost everyone stopped playing it right away because the matchmaking just does not work. And there is no training mode and no tutorial for most characters. You could only do a very basic tutorial with the character Rock, which meant that the leaderboard is like extremely Rock dominant, because turns out people like playing Rock. People like playing the character that they can lab, right? Rock, like it's just insane how much Rock there is. And a lot of people were very upset that there was no training mode, and people were very upset about the matchmaking. The matchmaking was just dog shit the entire weekend. But hey, it's a beta. Why does no training mode really matter that much? Why does why does it matter that the matchmaking was bad? Aren't betas for stress testing and stuff like that? So the reason why everyone's so concerned about the matchmaking isn't because this is an outlier. SNK, the developers of Samurai Showdown and KOF, and KOF 15 had insanely big matchmaking issues for like over a year after launch, and everyone will like let them know. They knew about it instantly, and it still had insanely big matchmaking problems. Samurai Showdown also similar issues, like dog shit, like netcode first with delay based netcode, and then rollback came out, still had a bunch of problems. Just the same day as Fatal Fury came out, they launched KOF 13 rollback edition, and that one has rollback, but it doesn't work. It's awful. So they have a long and storied history of just like absolutely terrible netcode. So if you want to believe them that the netcode is going to be better on launch, I think that's fine. I think you should, personally, I would definitely not pre-order this game. I would 100% wait until the game comes out and people tell you about it. Does it work? You know, is the matchmaking alive? Absolutely not a pre-order game in my opinion, unless you're one of the people that just want to play it for tournaments, stuff like that. The no training mode issue is a curious thing, because it turns out this game was incredibly easy to crack. Like, fighting games have had a long and storied history of huge cracking issues where people get a beta on PC and then they instantly crack it and they just play it until the game comes out. Street Fighter 6 had tons of top players just grinding the crack for up to like 9 months ahead of time, and the game was almost the same. Tekken 8 had the same issue. Granblue has had cracking issues. Like, every game has had issues, and a lot of them make very, very little effort in trying to prevent cracking. And this game might just have been the worst. It was cracked day one. All you needed to use was just cheat engine, and the only thing you did was you went to practice. You click the practice button, and then you change one value. You changed 4 to 2, I believe it was. and that just gave you full access to training mode and offline versus. And so you might see that like the people that said, there were some people saying before that they didn't include training mode because what if it gets cracked like every other game? Then if there's training mode, then people can lab the game for however long, right? Until the game comes out and then be absolutely broken and like way better than everyone else, right? And that's kind of the issue. Right now, this game is going to be cracked 100%. People are going to be playing this game for 2 months straight until the game launches and just be super far ahead of people. And this game is going to have a lot of money in it because it is an esports World Cup. So it's looking pretty bad, honestly, for the game's competitive life. Like it's going to be, if someone wins something, crack or no crack, people are going to be, tell them, oh, you were just a cracker, right? That's some really big issues. So all that said, it could turn out fine. I think if you're in it for the long haul, like if you're down to play this game 1, 2, 3, 4 years, these issues will probably not be a deal breaker in terms of like your specific enjoyment, because matchmaking issues will probably at some point get better, even if it takes a year. And the cracking advantage eventually starts mattering less and less and less, right? I think the problem with this game is that the beta has such poor reception in terms of general audiences and casuals that it's already cut out a lot of the hype I've seen from people. It certainly hurt my hype levels because I was looking to main this game, and I still might, but now it's kind of like, wow, I have to crack this game for 2 months and try to hide the fact that I do it if I play it, or I just have to be 2 months behind and I have to deal with dog shit netcode and matchmaking. That's the thing. Even when the game does actually work and you get a match, the netcode is still kind of iffy. It's definitely nowhere near Street Fighter 6 or Strive. Even Tekken 8 honestly has better netcode. And so it will probably work eventually. So if you're in it for the long haul, if you just love this genre or this series, then sure. I think it's pretty likely that it will have players that you can match with. Question is it going to have a lot of casual appeal? Personally, I'm skeptic. Maybe it can have that, but the beta didn't do great numbers and it was free. And I think most importantly, this game has an issue that I like to call it's too much like Street Fighter 6. A lot of people are already mad in the comments. They're typing, "Oh my god, how could you call it like Street?" Listen, and I'll show you guys, but I promise you, I'm not saying that this game is going to play 1-to-1 like Street Fighter 6. I'm saying that for the average person, for most people, it's going to be really hard to justify playing this game over Street Fighter 6. And so, there's no training mode, so I have to set up a room with my other PC to try this. So let me try to do that. Wait. These menus, by the way, are horrible. They're so laggy and slow. Like, it's hard to like tell someone how bad it is, but it's so bad. It's so bad. I wish I could just like make you guys feel it from just seeing it, but the menus are awful. Okay, now I'm gonna enter on my other PC. I'm gonna enter. And very likely the UI is not getting changed, unfortunately. The training mode I've heard from the people that do crack it is also like very flawed. Not horrible, but not good either. H4. Let's see if I can join. There we go. So, positively said, this game actually looks really good in my opinion. I was a big hitter of KOF 15, and I think this game really showed that SNK can finally say they have done a good job with visuals. They really nail a 3D style. KOF 13 is one of the best looking games of all time. You know, the absolute peak of sprite based visuals, and I think they've this is not the best looking game I've ever seen, but it's far and away better than KOF 15. So right away there's a thing called SPG. SPG is a new mechanic. It has some similarities with other stuff, but it's a new mechanic, and you see there on the life bar at the top, it has a gauge, and when you're in this gauge, you get certain buffs. Your meter usage costs less, and in general, you do a bit more damage, I believe. But so how is this game like Street Fighter 6? Well, first off, you can dash in this game a bit more. Movement is better, and you can short hop. So there's way more movement, way more like freeform stuff. There is feints like this. You can stop a move in the middle of it. So normally a DP goes like this. If you break it, you can stop like this and then combo to other stuff. Pretty cool. In general, there's a lot of interesting individual mechanics. There's more defensive stuff. There's more like nerdy shit. But why is this game like Street Fighter 6 then? Well, you see this meter down at the bottom. This is the rev gauge. This gauge is very clearly taken from Street Fighter 6, or heavily inspired. It's a gauge that the more moves you use, and the more mechanics you use, called rev, like rev guard, or EX specials, or rev blow, which is basically drive impact, but better, which we'll get to. You rev up, and then you go into overheat. When you're in overheat, you lose access to your meters, your rev specials. You can't rev block or parry. You can't drive impact. And in general, if you block too much, you're gonna get guard broken. You don't get guard broken in the same way by getting drive impacts in the corner as Street Fighter 6, but it's still functionally very similar and shares a lot of similarities. The rev guard in general is very strong, and this drive impact called rev blow in this is insanely hard to beat as a casual. Even at pro level, it's clearly broken according to most people, and generally I've seen a lot of people complain about this mechanic because it's basically just drive impact, but you can also do it in the air. Like, it's an incredibly annoying mechanic to get hit by, and it does have counterplay, but the counterplay is very hard and in general not that fun. So I think this is the biggest issue. This game doesn't have crazy anime mix-ups. It doesn't have, because of rev guard, you can't left to right, you can't cross people up very well. In general, defense in this game is very strong, and the neutral seems to be much more slow paced than some of SNK's other games like KOF. You can short hop, but like running in general carries no momentum to your jumps, except if you do dash jump, which is very high jump, much easier to anti-air. So in general, this game is pretty slow paced in neutral, or at least leaning towards becoming more slow paced. Obviously, we'll have to see how it plays. And it's still, close-ish to Street Fighter in terms of like, it's about ground pokes, you're waiting a lot, you're throwing fireballs, you're anti-airing on reaction, It's not like an anime game or Guilty Gear or team game where you're calling assist, you're not wave dashing like Tekken. It's no 3D. And I think this will ultimately be the biggest problem for the game. Basically, it's a harder Street Fighter 6 to get into, right? It's not like ridiculously hard to like get calm and stuff like that, but it's much harder to get anything going because the modern controls are much worse in this game. There is a modern stand-in as well, also probably inspired from Street Fighter 6, of course, but it's way worse, and you lose access to way more. Doing basic combos requires like very fast inputs, a lot of like specific motions like DP. Braking is very weird. It doesn't have any shortcut to feint. In general, I would say the control scheme is less accessible, and a lot of stuff is just less accessible and requires tighter, harder learning curves is what I would say in the Street Fighter 6. And games like Grand Blue, who also obviously take a lot from Street Fighter 6. And I think that's going to be an issue where casuals will struggle getting into this game because it is hard. It's a lot of mechanics, very overwhelming. Obviously, Fatal Fury is not the biggest franchise ever. Most people just know Terry, maybe Geese, maybe Rock, but outside of that, not that many. But honestly, I think the game will still have its dedicated fans. And what's the problem for them? Well, I think the problem for a lot of the more dedicated people is that if you're interested in tournaments, well, then you kind of have to like, then you have the dilemma of, do I play the crack? Do I not? How big is this game going to be? If you want to be an esports sponsored player, maybe you can play this game while Esports World Cup is still happening for it. Are you going to be playing it after, once it loses the prize money? Or are you just going to play Street Fighter 6 if you're down to play a game a little bit more basic and ground-based? Probably you're going to end up playing Street Fighter 6 again. And I think if you love the hops and stuff like that, maybe you just stick to KOF if you like the faster SNK playstyle. This is kind of my issue with it. I think this game is for some people, but is it for big enough of an audience, given how niche Fatal Fury of a brand is, and given all the troubles with online and matchmaking and the crack and all this stuff? I personally am very, very worried, especially because the game is only 2 months out. They probably can't make any major changes. Hopefully they'll make some. And funnily enough, the gameplay is the thing I'm the least worried about. I feel like this game does a lot of good gameplay-wise. I just don't think that for the average person, pure gameplay is the thing that sells copies. I think a lot of the time it's something else. Granted, SNK nailed it with the visuals. I think they did a lot of good, like, the game is animated super well. I think it does have some unique character and music and all that stuff. So it's gonna attract some people. And I think if you like that shit, if you like this game, I think you already know it if you base it on the visuals. So all in all, this is still just a beta. Hopefully the matchmaking gets fixed before the next beta or before the game comes out. But personally, I would say this is a clear hell no, don't pre-order this game. Wait until it comes out. Wait until it gets good matchmaking. Unless you're getting paid to play this like me, or if you just fucking love Fatal Fury and you just want to support the devs regardless, do not buy this game right now. Wait until it comes out. See if the matchmaking still works. See if the servers hold up. And then once it does work, if it ever gets fixed, are you still interested in this game? Is there another game you might want to play instead? And most importantly, is the game alive? Is there still a lot of people playing this game? Because that could be a really big issue, that by the time the matchmaking is fixed, the game just doesn't have a really big player base. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. This is just a quick overview. Let me know if you want more of this stuff. I think developers like hearing this shit too. So, if you're a developer, sorry I didn't like the beta. I think honestly, most of them on the gameplay side, I just wish RevGuard and RevBlow were way worse. And if you can do that, I would be pretty happy with the game in a lot of ways. So yeah, that's all for now. Don't buy things immediately. Dude, the don't buy things immediately life is so much better, man. It's actually crazy. But we live in a hype-based world. In a hype-based society. Yeah, I think the biggest problem this game has is that it costs fucking $60. Yes, I know that technically you get the season 1 pass, but like, no one fucking gives a shit, man. What's the difference between having the season 1 pass included, or like, or doing like Melty Blood where the game is 60 but the season 1 pass characters are free? Like nothing. It's a $60 game until they give you the option of not getting the season 1 pass but getting it for 40. No, I'm not getting paid to play this game. The menus are laggy for everyone. It's not PC related. People are calling for this game to be delayed, but it's not gonna happen. Yeah, due to matchmaking issues and stuff like that. But it's not gonna get delayed because SNK has 1 shown that they're willing to launch games broken, and then 2, because it's already an esports World Cup, and so they're gonna wanna. They can't like just cancel all the qualifiers and shit. Okay. All right. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm gonna go to sleep. I will play some Melee tomorrow, I think. I think I'm feeling Melee. Now that we're done. Maybe some Strive. I've been playing... I've still been making sure to grind Strive. Been improving a lot on Strive, but like... Yeah, streaming Strive is still blow up, you know? I think I'll try to mainly stream Melee and Rivals for a bit. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you don't see me for 2 months, don't tell the government that I was cracking the entire time. I won't. It's actually not worth it for me money-wise to do it. Like, not at all. Let's just not stream just so I can hope to win some money. Like, nah, it's not worth it. Anyway, I'm rating Super Noon. Have fun. See ya.